I have found the weirdest horror film, psychological thriller, acting pursuit. Honestly, I will let you guys be the judge of it. I myself have watched this movie too many times, and I'm about to watch it again. I can't exactly give it high reviews. It's one of those bad movies that are kind of funny. Maybe you'll go back to watch it again just to get those other laughs out. You remember, some of those actors didn't exactly hit the mark on their lines, or some of those plot devices are kind of funny. But after the third or fourth watch, you start to slowly lose your mind and hate every single person who acted in it. Am I washed out? Oh my god. What? I gotta change the lighting, it's so bright. Okay, now it's really dark. I think that kind of sets the right mood for what we're working with right now. It gets dark. BASKETWEAVE was made in 2006, and I believe technically released in 2007 by the by a person named Christopher Forbes. He not only wrote, but also directed and composed the music for this movie. He's very proud. I'm mistaken. Christopher and his brother Kevin wrote this movie together. Our director, Christopher Forbes, is actually a pretty busy guy, with credits dating up to literally this year. Did I write this in 2022? Should I check that? So much searching up, and I thought I did research. I've got a script, and yet I still don't have all the research I need. Yep, I was right. He has a thing out in 2023. It's called Thousand Plane Raid. So, I wish I could describe the artistic eye Mr. Forbes seems to have for his films, but I honestly cannot find a word to describe the variety of subjects he's been able to conjure up. I'm gonna put it that way because I don't know how else to lead into this, but he has 44 titles under his name, and about 3/4 of them are about Confederate soldiers, the other quarter being really shitty horror movies, so I'm scared and extremely intrigued. And apparently all of his movies are on Tubi, so I will be visiting your horror section soon, sir, just because one of my favorite actresses from your movie BASKETWEAVE seems to be in quite a bit of them. So it's only for you, Dana. It's only for you. Vance Strickland is BASKETWEAVE, our villain. And then we have Anna Hardin, who plays Allie, our victim. And then we have Dana Cheshire, my motherfucking bitch. She plays Nurse Jackie. Not that Nurse Jackie. This Nurse Jackie. And Jonathan Cook, who is our lead detective. And I only really mention him because I'm pretty sure that's his face on the cover, because it's not Vance's or anyone else. So, from what I can tell, I'm pretty sure it's him. This movie, however, was produced by one Vance Strickland, and he is a gem. He is actually our one of our main characters, and truly just a fantastic guy. Oh my god, Vance Strickland died. Okay, so we will only be speaking about Vance Strickland in high regard. Rest in peace, Vance Strickland. I don't know how many people in this movie are even still alive. I probably should have checked that first. It's okay. He's one of my favorite actors in the movie anyway, so it'll only be good reviews for him regardless. But, yeah. It's said he passed of colon cancer in 2008, so right after the movie came out. Rest in peace, buddy, and I'm sorry this seems to be one of your last acting roles. Under Vance's credentials, it says in parentheses that he was a part of, God, I can't remember, LA Confidential General Hospital. I'm not sure if that's a singular show or if LA Confidential is separate from, like, the general hospital aspect of that. I tried looking up the whole phrase and nothing came up for it. There's no movies under that full title either, but LA Confidential and General Hospital are two very real shows, so maybe they just got them mixed up a little bit. So I searched up Vance Strickland in LA Confidential. Just a LinkedIn profile showed up and some random court cases, so I searched it the other way around. LA Confidential, Vance Strickland. And yeah, no, it was the same stuff. More court cases and someone's random LinkedIn. So I looked up just LA Confidential, and I come up with this. Seems to be a crime thriller, something from 1997. Oh look, it's free to watch on YouTube. Let's check the cast and crew. Maybe Vance is on there. Well, he's not on the cast, but I'd say he dodged a bullet because Kevin Spacey was on that film. But since Danny DeVito also seems to be on this list of actors, I don't think Vance helped produce this movie thing either. Let me quickly check that, and no. 3 producers, but none of them are named Vance. Alright, so what about General Hospital? I feel like GH is one of those shows like NCIS and Law & Order where many people just end up cameoing on it. I'm pretty sure Logan Paul was on one of those. It would make sense if he just showed up and had a small role on one of those shows. Let's see. Search up General Hospital, Vance Strickland. Well, I'm getting the cover of the movie BASKETWEAVE. Good to know we are not the only ones lucky enough to behold the knowledge of such a classic, but right under it, we are once again getting some court cases and other such riffraff, but nothing of Vance. What's happening, and why does it say that near his name? That's not even important to this film. I don't understand. Who are you, Vance Strickland, or who were you, and why does it say LA Confidential General Hospital next to your name? Those are not your credentials. I don't know who put that there. Was it you? Why? I'm not sure why I'm caught up in this man's fake credentials. Now I'm just questioning whether or not he really did produce it. Does he have a production company? Why is he under the producer name on IMDb? I don't understand. Who are you, Vance Strickland? He doesn't even have General Hospital or LA Confidential on his IMDb. There's just 3 other things. He was in an episode of LA Heat in 1997, which was apparently about, quote, action-packed cases of 2 cops, 1 white, 1 black in Los Angeles. A wisecracking combination with plenty of action, chases, and explosions thrown in for good measure. And I choose not to unpack the backwards thinking that's probably in that show, so we're gonna focus on episode 26, where our boy Vance played a character named Skin... okay, well, Vance was also in Runners in 2001, which is about the members of a champion high school track team, all but one, whom were sexually molested by demanding coach Vance Strickland group. Well, did I mention Vance is the murderer in today's movie? No? Well, it seems to be his typecast, so I guess it works out. What does that man's resume even look like? Ah, I see. Here it says you played a bigot, a sex offender, and a murderer. This is literally the trifecta of red flags. Can you hear the police outside? Anyway, this man died in 2008, and y'all only gave him 3 chances to prove his acting skill, and all of them were terrible. Rest in peace, Vance Strickland. I hope in the afterlife you got the role of an event planner or choir teacher, or something that doesn't involve hurting other people. I can't be bothered to look anywhere else for this man's information. Let's get into this movie, shall we? This is like the last thing I want to do. I've waited long enough. I have put off the movie long enough. We are greeted with an ominous hymn of the words BASKETWEAVE as we see these credits roll by. I just want you guys to know that there are 2 songs composed by our boy Chris Forbes, and this is one of them. In fact, both of them have the words BASKETWEAVE in them, and I hope he had a lot of fun making them. I'd like to know if he's behind the vocals. The music gets aggressively louder as we see the title BASKETWEAVE printed across some film of a couple of hands weaving some baskets. It's a done deal. I don't know what it means. I just want you to know that he knows. And now you know. We open up with a very slow pan into the window of what looks to be a small girl's home, as the narration of a man with a pretty thick accent tells us about her conditions and her conditions. We don't know who her is yet, and the progress of a new drug he names Margaret. He claims it's a very powerful antipsychotic. This drug is supposed to be a super strong antipsychotic. However, he hasn't been able to get it approved by the FDA yet. We learn that our narrator named this new antipsychotic after his late wife, Margaret. We get a close-up of the girl while the doctor person tells who I presume are parents that he needs to know whether or not they're cool with him starting this Margaret medication on somebody named Allie, who we can guess is the girl in the window. We get a couple of shots of what I can only describe as a very calm household. Allie is in what I assume is some kind of dance recital outfit, and she's doing some simple stretches in the hallway. Mom is at the table reading a newspaper, and Dad is at the couch, also reading the newspaper. We get a knock at the door, and only Allie seems to hear it, who I just realized is wearing some kind of velvet leotard, and I hate it. I hate it so much. What is that? I hate it so much. I hate that. I hate that. And so she says,
"Daddy, there's somebody at the door."
He doesn't really seem to care, and so we continue to get very calm shots of Allie's face with no reaction. I don't know if she's scared of the knocking at the door or what. She doesn't seem to be too upset that her father just blatantly ignored her, so her dad finally gets up, which you would have thought by the second knock he would have, just to get the person to stop, but I guess he expected them to walk away on their own. Like, yeah, I know you're coming to my house in the middle of the night, but you're surely gonna give up after knocking 4 times. I mean, they didn't, but I guess he thought they would. He immediately opens up the door. Now, you may be asking yourself, why not look who's showing up first? This is weird. It's the middle of the night, and you just heard a bunch of ominous knocking. Your daughter noticed, and you didn't seem to care. Why would you just open up the door? How would they see outside? There's a space for people. There is no people. Why? I don't know. But he had to open the door. I guess he didn't want to ask through the door. I don't even know if that would help, because anyone could have lied. But he just whips that thing right open and then immediately closes it. We get some really weird dialogue between these guys. He greets the stranger with, "BASKETWEAVE, when did you get out?" Which tells me immediately that he was somewhere else and he shouldn't have been out. Then BASKETWEAVE asks,
"Darling, how old? No, don't tell me."
And that's a little worrying and weird. And then he says this,
"I'm here to slap my life back into order, turn it into something I can digest."
I don't know, I gotta commend the guy slapping your life back together like that. I don't know how this is slapping your life back together, but, you know, it's not an easy thing for people to get up and escape whatever they were in and start slapping their life together. The mom comes out and she's really scared, though it seems like the family knows him and the father does not want him around. I don't know why, but he's for some reason really into Allie and wants to get to her, and Dad is not having it. Actually, the mom doesn't look very scared when she comes out at all. She just kind of goes over to Allie and holds her close. I would think you'd take her away from the screaming men, but yeah, he asks if she misses him. We still don't know their relationship, so the dad reasonably tells BASKETWEAVE to stay away from his family, and Vance gives us one of the best lines, I think, in the movie, which is, "Don't tell me what to do, pretty family boy."
"Don't tell me what to do, pretty family boy!"
Which I think put him into place. He also then throws him onto a table, and his wife's reaction is to cover her entire face with her hand. They ADR'd someone saying, "Call the police" into the movie. No one said it. It was a disembodied voice. I'm guessing we're supposed to assume it was the mom.
Run, Allie! Call 911!
Allie books it upstairs while BASKETWEAVE intimidates the mom. I don't really know what's happening, but he really wants to hurt them. While Allie is delivering a very convincing 911 call, her parents are being murdered in the room downstairs. Her father seems to have fallen into the coffee table and now has a large shard of that coffee table glass in him, and he goes to use some glass to get back at BASKETWEAVE, but it doesn't work in his favor. Then I guess BASKETWEAVE grabs the knife shard and decapitates the mom? I don't know. I guess. I don't know how, but it looks like he was kind of like working really hard on it, and we just get the final shot, like when it finally clicks through. But it's a pretty clean shot after we get the slow-mo of it happening. Anyway, her parents are dead now. I watched it again just now, and it actually looks like he sawed her neck until he was able to punch her head off of her neck, which is pretty badass. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. That's pretty badass, man. I don't even know how you did that. I guess that was a pretty cool kill. I don't know. I've never seen that before. After making her very scary and believable phone call to the police, Allie runs off into the bathroom and I guess hides in a wicker laundry basket chest. I don't know what that is, but she hides in it. BASKETWEAVE then attempts to imitate her mother's voice and calls out to her in some weird way. It was really weird. He calls her baby. He says, like, mommy wants to see her. He wants to see her squeaky little face.
Come here, baby. Need to talk to you for a minute. Sweetheart, show your squeaky little face to mommy, okay?
Oh my god. I forgot about this. He walks into the bathroom with her mother's now decapitated head, and we get to see some really cool fake blood. So the first of the gore is already looking great. I mean, Spirit Halloween ready. I am blown out of the water. I hate all the nicknames he's giving her. I'm not really sure why part of the scripting was to call her things like Little Cupcake and Baby, or call her face squeaky, but I'm not really convinced that this man, Christopher Forbes, knows how to talk to children or even threaten children. Like, this is weird. I don't think this man knows how to threaten children. No one should know how to do that. BASKETWEAVE barely looks for her in this bathroom, kind of just turns his head, and then at one point looks under the sink. Even though the sirens of police are approaching pretty quickly in the background, he doesn't really seem to care nor notice, and then the police knock at the door. Allie then asks,
Is my project ready?
Is my project ready? Then, once again, Vance delivers an amazing line.
Visitors, most unwelcome.
This has nothing to do with the movie, but it looks like they have upside down umbrella wall sconces, and that's so cool. Who designed that? And if it's just shaped like that, what a cool thing you could turn that into. Like, no, it's not a wall sconce. It's actually an umbrella that we repurposed and put on the wall. Only I hope somebody else was like, wow, that's cool. Like, nobody else was like, nobody else thought the wall sconces are cool. BASKETWEAVE repeats that they are unwanted, and once again, Allie needs to know if her project is ready. We are 6 minutes into the film. We fade to black, and then we're brought to what looks to be a facility in the crack of dawn. I don't know, it's dark as hell outside, but it's definitely early in the morning. We find ourselves in a makeshift interrogation room, which is very dark, and BASKETWEAVE is already in a straitjacket, so maybe we're at an insane asylum. I'm not sure. Again, very dark, and they're in a makeshift interrogation room. The doctor greets him with what I assume is his real name, but our killer's not doing that.
BASKETWEAVE, how many times am I gonna have to ask you to call me by my real name, BASKETWEAVE?
Apparently we respect murderers, and so he just refers to him as BASKETWEAVE going forward. So the doctor wants to know... Is my memory full? Are you kidding me? Ow, fuck. Still going? Okay. The doctor wants to know why BASKETWEAVE did what BASKETWEAVE did, which we find out is he actually murdered his brother and therefore also his sister-in-law. BASKETWEAVE once again tells us he needed to slap his life back into order. However, now he says it's to get his life into balance, and the doctor has always told him to keep things in balance. He then tells him it's important for him to pay attention to his next actions, which the doctor then asks, well, what are your actions? And then he says this. It is a very long monologue, but I do think it's important that I get some of these quotes in here because it is, my God, magnificent.
Doctor, I'm a weaver. I weave reality out of blood and straw. I mold the fabric of your reality. I've taken the time to intertwine all the lives around me into one massive structure of suffering and pain. I am truly on a quest.
A quest? For what?
For the perfect structure. There is a flaw. something that will feed off of everyone that you care about the most. I am that something, Doctor. Still working on it. There's a strand missing. But once it's finished, you will all be enveloped by it.
BASKETWEAVE then asks the doctor who he loves, and the doctor responds, nothing. I'll probably put the clip of him saying nothing in there.
No one.
Then BASKETWEAVE's like, nah, no, you hesitated for sure. I saw it in your eyes. I felt it. So, possible romance happening between BASKETWEAVE and our doctor here? I didn't know that's how it was going, but I like it. I like this vibe. The doctor wants to know why BASKETWEAVE didn't kill the little girl, Allie, and he says it's because she's like a cosmic genius, basically. He could not kill her off. But it's because she hid in a basket. The doctor doesn't seem to understand why that's so important, but it's pretty important. I don't know how many baskets are machine made, but I'd love to see one. Is it bad if I look it up? I'll look it up after this. And if there are machine built baskets, then he's right. There's definitely nothing good about them. There's no way they can put the same amount of love and attention that our BASKETWEAVE can put into those baskets. He's a weaver, man. There's a lot of talk about baskets and wicker, and I guess it's supposed to be his killer motive, but it's really boring, and I don't even know what Chris Forbes found scary about this concept, but we're only 10 minutes in, and I know a lot about basket weaving now. More than I ever wanted to. So, BASKETWEAVE's obsessed with these baskets, and the doctor's response to that is, we're gonna keep you here. BASKETWEAVE doesn't really care, though, because all he has to do is close his eyes, and he can see landscapes of blood and death, and it's beautiful. I'm taking you through the worst movie. I'm not explaining it to you. The doctor gives us this sweet line.
Can you imagine what it is that I see when I close my eyes?
Yes, you told me structure, pain, and suffering.
That is just completely dismissive of anything BASKETWEAVE's been saying. BASKETWEAVE delivers yet another great line, and that seems to be enough for our doctor.
I'm not waiting on the end of the world. I am the end of the world.
He sends BASKETWEAVE away. So a detective on Allie's case, her name is Allie Van Doren, and the detective is basically telling the doctor that Allie has not been able to stop freaking out over her parents' murder, and that she keeps repeating that she saw another person in the house with her. And the doctor's like, what? Besides her parents and herself? And the detective is like, yeah, she keeps saying something about a basket weaver. And the doctor's like, yeah, I know that guy. And he says, here's a story.
You know, the basket weaver, the one who kills all the men and rapes the women.
You know, the basket weaver, the guy who... What? The detective's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the doctor's like, hey man, everyone's got a story like this. I guess he's referring to the story that Allie gave the detective. Like, everyone has heard this story. It's just, you know, each hospital has a different variation of the basket weaver. But the detective just checks in, makes sure he's sure about the story he just told him. And the doctor's like, yeah, it's true.
I am positive, detective.
So the detective is good on that, and he thanks him for his time and leaves. Our doctor walks into a scene with, sorry, her wig just scared the shit out of me. I have no idea who was on costuming, but why did they put this blonde woman in a blonde wig? In the worst blonde wig they could have found? She lets our doctor know that Allie has not said a thing, and she's also not eating. So she takes him into Allie's room. Allie is in what looks to be a prisoner cell on a fold-out bed, completely in the dark. So she's been here 16 days and 15 nights, according to our nurse Angela here, and she has not said a single word since she got in. However, she really wants him to see this wall in Allie's room. Angela seems to be very surprised that Allie is able to get off of the bed and make marks on the wall for each night she's been there. They're like, that's weird. We should keep putting her on this Margaret drug. I had to fix my lighting and my camera ran out of battery. I have this movie on 2x speed and it is still moving extremely slowly. We get a new nurse in and our security guard that we just meet for the first time ever welcomes her in. His name's Sam. Just thought, you know, it's nice that they gave us a name. He calls Bad Wig to let her know that the new nurse has arrived, and she lets Nurse Jackie know, who responds with,
"What the f does he want?
You've got a rookie to train.
Just what I need."
iconic. Nurse Jackie shows her around and really tells her how it is. I think her name is Karen Nadelsky, which is a pretty sick name, and I just wanted to mention that. Jackie implies that not only Dr. Glass's door is open, but also something else, and then he tells her to go off and show our new nurse the rest of the facility. We see Angela for a second, and they get introduced, but then we leave. I'm not really sure why they took us here, but it's a nice scene. Angela getting some screen time. That horrible wig getting some screen time. So we meet Barry, who Nurse Jackie is very aggressive with, and forces him to take some medication. He does not want to take that medication. She threatens to castrate him, and
Now open your hole!
that was a line that was written. Then we meet Tom, who used to hump all the nurses before Nurse Jackie neutered him, which is another line that was written into this movie.
Why are you so mean to these people?
I also want to know why she's so mean to these people. I'm just gonna let Jackie deliver her next line because I don't really know how to summarize.
Don't be a fuckhead, Karen. It only goes downhill from there, and you don't want to be downhill from me. Do you understand? You see, I'm the queen bitch of dope delivery around here. I've been here for 5 years. I'll be here for 50 more, because I get the job done. Oh, don't fret. Not everyone can be a Nurse Jackie.
Not everyone can be Nurse Jackie. We see Allie again, and Nurse Jackie tells us that she's been here for 10 years. So no longer just 15 nights, which explains all those new markings. So she's 20 now, and she still isn't moving nor talking. Nurse Jackie decides to give her a pill anyway. Everyone is still very shocked that Allie is getting up in the middle of the night and marking the wall. I don't know why. Nurse Jackie thinks that the whole mute and traumatized thing that Allie's putting on is a put on so that she can get attention and pilled every day and slapped. I'm not sure why Jackie is convinced that this is an act that Allie has put on. I guess that's it for the hospital, and those are the only patients here. There are 3 patients at this hospital, and Jackie is mean to all of them. They find some mail on the desk that's addressed to Allie, and apparently Allie doesn't get any mail. Somehow, Nurse Karen is able to read over Jackie's shoulder that it's addressed to that Allie girl. Nurse Jackie sends Nurse Karen away to get her Coke, even though she's fine. She's not thirsty. But she tells her to get a...
Go get a f***ing Coke.
This is so stupid. This movie's so stupid. Anyway, so that she can look at the letter herself. We get some really shaky shots on what looks to be a letter from a lawyer who is telling us that Allie has inherited some money. She calls her a little rich bitch, slaps her, and then proceeds to tackle her on the hospital bed. She straddles her and forces a pill in her mouth so she can sort some things out. This is what she's doing and what she's saying. I'm not explaining. That scene did seem to be written in for someone specific. I'm not going to say what kind of person would be into a scene like that, but I don't really think it was necessary. So just putting it out there. It's a weird thing that just happened. We see Allie hyperventilating after this, which is really worrisome because we haven't seen her react to anything so far, but we just kind of move along from it. I guess Karen forgot that Jackie had the letter for Allie because when she comes back into the room, Karen asks her where she's been. I don't know. What was in that Coke? What was in your Coke, Karen? How long have you been drinking your Coke? We come back to Allie, who seems to have calmed down just the slightest bit. Then she lurches forward in a sudden attack of, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Then we arrive in what seems to be a music video. Allie is in all white, which I believe is just her outfit from the psych ward. I don't know why I mentioned that. And she is now walking around a graveyard. I like that I said it like it makes sense. She's now approaching a graveyard. Like, what? Why? How? What is she even doing? She sees her father reading a newspaper on the grass next to what I presume may be his grave, and she's very shocked by this, and now we're back to real life. So now we're at a new location, and Jackie is here for an appointment that she apparently has with some kind of coordinator, but the movie is on 2x speed, and I don't feel like going back to pay attention to who it was. It seems that she responded to Allie's lawyer letter instead of the actual institution, because I guess she can just forge these things. So everything that her parents had owned and such has been liquidated into a fund of $3 million, and it all goes to Allie. The terms are that he comes to interview Allie and make sure that she's of sound mind in order for her to receive the money. If she's of sound mind, she will be released from the hospital and given the funds immediately. I don't know what qualifies him to tell whether or not she's of sound mind, but he's the last line of defense. And if he says so, she gets to go home. Nurse Jackie wants to know, what if she's not of sound mind when you go to meet her? And he says, it'll all go to Ravenwood. All of her inheritance will go to Ravenwood in order to take care of her. I'm not sure if it was the hospital paying these bills before, but something tells me that her inheritance would have helped already with taking care of her, but I also don't know shit about insurance or anything like that, so. They agree to have a meeting the very next day at Ravenwood, and she tells him to ask for Dr. Marcello when they get there. I'm not even 25 minutes into this movie! Jackie is really pleased with herself, and so she goes into the storage room, bathroom, to congratulate herself. This moment kind of gives me the vibes of, you know, if you've ever played Security Breach and you walk past Roxy's little room, and she's kind of just talking about how great she is, and then she starts crying. Same vibes. Absolutely same vibes. Now we are in the basement of this hospital. I think it's a level 3? Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, we're on basement level 3. I don't know how many basements a psych facility normally has. I don't think it's more than 2. Barry and Tom are strapped onto some tables, and they do not look comfortable. Well, I mean, Barry doesn't. Tom's just kind of laying there. Badwig is sitting with a clipboard while our doctor looks at some syringes under a desk lamp. He scoops some, what looks to be Kool-Aid from a pot into one of the syringes. I hate narrating this thing. So the doctor and Angela have a moment where he places down a syringe and she goes to make a move, but he told her he's only loyal to his wife, Margaret. Then they go to take the medicine out, and we pan to a foot, which I think we're supposed to believe is a dead body, but I don't know who or why. It's just there. So Angela decides that Barry should go first, which...
Barry is already agitated. I think he should go first.
I don't know, I thought Nurse Jackie's thing was being aggressive towards Barry, but I guess we all have it out for Barry in this universe, because fuck Barry. I'm down for you, Barry. I have nothing against you. I'm just saying, these nurses seem to not like you, and the doctor doesn't seem to give a shit either way. Are they strapped down with, like, what are those straps called? They're, like, strapped down with what you... Those are the things you use to, like, strap cars to trucks and such when you go to tow them, right? When you're moving a couch or something like that. Those aren't for people. Those aren't people straps. Those aren't Barry's very upset, and he tries to spit on the doctor. I don't know if they gave him the direction to not actually spit at the doctor, because they're like, hey, that's gross, don't do that, or if he's just really bad at spitting. He grabs his hair and stabs him where I think is the neck, and then he screams. He struggles a little bit, and then he passes out. I don't know. Angela remarks how huge of a dose that was, even though she's the one who suggested he give it to him, and they move on to Tom. But I don't know if you noticed, only one of those syringes have a needle attached to it, so I have no idea how they're going to administer this dosage. Oh, okay, they're just going to use the same needle. Good. I was about to say, how are you going to get him to take the medicine? His reaction to getting stabbed with the needle is really funny. I don't have any words for it, I just think it's really funny. The patients start hallucinating, it seems, and the doctor wants to know, what do you see? What do you see?
What do you see, baby? What do you
He sees spiders and guts. He sees spiders and guts. The doctor remarks that he's almost there, and then both patients start to convulse and scream and laugh at the same time. I don't really know. I think they're both having very different reactions to this Margaret drug. Then I think Tom dies. Like, I think he just dies from the dosage of Margaret. I think he, like, laughed a bunch and then died. Oh no, he's alive. He's just tripping balls. So, instead of spiders and guts, Tom sees a bunch of flashes of Nurse Jackie and sexy nurse uniforms. So, like, I'm pretty sure I saw some white fishnet. Tom, through what seems to be almost tears, calls Dr. Stravinsky. That's his name. Did I say his name yet? Our doctor's name is Dr. Stravinsky. He tells Nurse Angela that he's a good man. And then we hear this. And then she tells him, I'll be back in a minute, and goes to check on the sound. Then we get our only extremely gory scene. Barry's been cut in half, severed at the spine. He's covered in blood, and there's a chain in his mouth, and this is Nurse Angela's reaction. So Barry's twitching on the table still, somehow, and the response our doctor gives is, oh my god, he's back.
My God, Angela. He's back.
Now we're with Nurse Jackie again in Dr. Glass's office. He tells her to make herself comfortable, and she lays her ass down. I love Nurse Jackie. So Nurse Jackie says she wants to have a little bit more control over the funds because she doesn't like that the only person who can get to the funds is Dr. Glass. And she doesn't think the nurses should always have to go through him to get things like toilet paper or anything like that. And apparently it's only like $300 in that tiny bank account anyway, so she doesn't see why her or the other nurses can't have at least some hand in it. He says that the whole system was set up without him, and Jackie's response to that is, well, you keep like $300 in there, and I make that in like 2 days, so, which sounds like a horrible nursing job. You only make $300 in 2 days? How much are you getting paid an hour? $1? I didn't do any math there, so if that doesn't calculate, then that's why. Okay, don't clock me. However, what? He says he needs to think about it, but she sits in his lap and says, if you want me to wear this sexy red lipstick, Dr. Glass, you better put me on that list of people who can touch the hospital funds. She then goes into one of the many wardrobes in their hallways, and then sees the Margaret syringes on a paper towel in a very unsanitary way. I'm not sure why he's keeping the dosages in a closet, but safekeeping. She gets caught trying to take some, but the doctor just wants to let her know that she needs to be careful with how much she administers because it's hard for him to gather Margaret the drug. See, it's not easy for him to make, and it takes a while. So she doesn't take any of the medicine. She just kind of walks off because he's like, hey, next time you need to ask me. And then he pats the syringes and says, rest in peace, Margaret. Jackie tells Allie she needs to make her into a drooling slug just for the next couple of days. There's nothing interesting happening right now. It's just all bad. It's just all bad, and I didn't want to go through it alone, and yet I'm going through it alone again. Jackie delivers another great line from this movie. Don't get all conscious on me, bitch.
Now don't be getting all conscious on me, bitch.
She quickly updates Angela on the fact that she's gonna come in early tomorrow because she's gonna be showing a lawyer around. And Angela's like, that's odd. And she's like, whatever, that's just what I'm doing, giving you a heads up. And that's all we get from that interaction. Allie is hyperventilating inaudibly again, and then we are once more taken into her mindscape of early 2000s graphics. We're back in the cemetery! We get such a long scene of her walking through this f***ing cemetery and such slow pans up of different angel statues and stuff, and I am just so confused as to why it's in slow motion. I have it on 2x speed, and it's still slow. There's no reason for this to be that slow. She stops at a random grave and starts petting the head of one of the statues, I think. She then bends down and I think starts reading the tombstone as if she didn't know what it said beforehand. She kind of touches it, and then she gets scared away because right behind her is her ghostly mom. We get a really quick zoom in of her eyeballs, and then her mom lets us know that she's taking something that's gonna give her serious brain damage. I can't explain this scene between her and her mom, so I'm just gonna play it out for you because it's really intense and
Listen carefully. Give her the permanent brain damage.
Mama?
Get out of the institution. Soon.
there's no dialogue besides her mom just warning her about the drugs. So BASKETWEAVE shows up in her little dream and he says, "I told you I wouldn't forget about you," which is really comforting because honestly, who likes to be forgotten? So Jackie comes in with her business outfit on, her little pencil skirt moment, and bad wig Angela asks, "Are you trying to get into administration?" And Jackie quips back, "No, but they're trying to get to me, or get into me." Wow. Sorry, Jackie, I kind of stumbled through your line. Weird moment for us to witness, and the only time they seem to have a really fun moment between each other. So there's a lot of weird interactions in this movie that don't seem to pan out or have anything to do with anything. Somebody just wanted to write some random interaction in between everything else, and I don't like it. The lawyer comes into Allie's room and she is drooling and bleeding from the nose. He notices that the place she's in is kind of decrepit, like there's a huge hole in her ceiling, and he's like, "I had no idea," which is weird because you would have thought somebody would have checked on her before this, but you know, she's 20 now. So he asks her if she remembers her parents, and she actually starts to nod, which Jackie gives her a look because she's like, "What? Why you nodding?" And then she says,
Is my project ready?
and he's like, "What the hell does that mean?" And Jackie's like, "I don't know. She's never said anything. Ever." Because she don't want her to say anything. Guy is like, "Alright, I guess I'll give you guys the money, but you really gotta spruce up the way she's living, because this ain't right." And Jackie seems confused by that for some reason. She's like, "What are you talking about? Like, what do you need?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Maybe just make sure there's no holes, or that she's, you know, got a registered nurse attending to her at all times, since she seems to be not okay, and I don't know, a TV? Like, why is she living like this?" He also says he needs some paperwork signed by Dr. Stravinsky, and Jackie, with a tight-lipped smile, agrees. I forgot she did that. Okay, so she walks by the counter again, and Karen's there this time. Karen tells her she looks nice, and Jackie says,
Not now, Karen. I'm in a f***ing mood.
and then Karen's response is, "Ooh, I'm in a fucking mood." This movie has moments that make me feel better, kills me, and then reels me back in with the best line deliveries. So we see Nurse Jackie come in and assault Allie, and then, I guess, try to kill her because she gives her a shitload of pills. And then Allie trips again. This time she's sepia-toned and running in a blank space. I got a blank space. Yeah, she like really trips out, and we see her in like a basket, or someone's in a basket. There's some blood, but we're moving right along because now someone's in a gurney. I don't know who she is. I don't know where she comes into the story. This isn't Allie. This is not Nurse Jackie, but she's being cut in half by giant shears. And we're back at the desk. And Angela tells Nurse Jackie that she believes Allie just had her first period. At 20 years old. She has a comically large amount of blood on her pants, dripping down to her feet. And you can tell a man wrote this. Jackie comes in and remarks,
Oh, you stuck pig! You bloody stuck pig!
So what happens next is weird. Jackie starts shoving a bunch of the towels in the toilet, I guess to clean Allie off with. Angela heard her say something and asked her to repeat herself, and in response, Allie asked where her baby is.
Have you seen my baby?
What the fuck?
And Jackie's response is pretty on point there. She then tells Allie that next time she's gotta clean up her own period blood. And then we see this? I don't know. I don't No. This movie is so fucking weird. Jackie is at what I believe is the cafeteria for the facility, and there's so many people here that I'm wondering where they were during the rest of the movie, but they're probably just random people who were okay with being in the shot. Anyway, BASKETWEAVE sits down right across from her, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" He says it's really important because he needs to talk to her about how much Margaret she's giving to Allie. Do you know why? Because I don't. Are you following along? Because I'm barely doing it myself. So Jackie's like, hey, I trust our doctor's opinion. He says we should give her this drug. We should give her this drug. And BASKETWEAVE's like, are you sure? I'm not sure of that. And then we see Dr. Glass, who's eating some lunch or whatever, and he stares in the mirror next to him, I guess because he hears something about I don't know. They agree to keep a watchful eye on her, and then Jackie side-eyes Dr. Glass again, and we literally get nothing from that. I don't know why he's important in that scene. I don't even think it comes up again. The lawyer asks his secretary if she got the fax papers from Ravenwood. For some reason, she didn't give it to him, but yeah, they already got it. And she asks, hey, do you want me to send over the forms? And he's like, I want to speak to this Mr. Stravinsky guy. So the lawyer has a direct line to the nurse's station and calls up to let them know he is headed over. And then he shows up right afterwards. His timing, impeccable. Wow. How did that even happen? So he sees Nurse Jackie and her nurse get up, and he's like, so you a nurse too? And she's like, oh yeah, part-time. It's just, it helps pay the bills. And he's like, I'm not surprised, but I don't know if that's to the fact that her job doesn't pay enough or that she needs more money. I'm not sure what that was too. Anyway, he's here to talk to Dr. Stravinsky, and she's like, what? Why you need to do that? So she sends him to the basement and says he's in the morgue. Wink. Why did I wink with the eye? I can't wink with. Wink, wink. I still look like I can't wink. I can wink. Is that good? See? If that looks bad, that's really funny. So this is where the movie gets really weird, and I know that's saying a lot because what we've already witnessed, but just trust me, she takes him down to the basement, and the first thing we see is a long line of baskets lining the shelves. He asked about the baskets, and she's like, oh yeah, they're all made here. He's just as confused as we all are about this. And she's like, I don't know, ask the doctor. He compliments the brightness of her lipstick, and she's like, oh, it's my signature. And then he calls her out and says, well, you weren't wearing it yesterday.
Didn't see you wearing it yesterday.
Yeah.
What's up with that, bitch? He lets her know that he called earlier for the administrator of funds, or whatever she told him she was, and there was nobody there who does that job. Basically saying he knows that she's a liar. And then she says, I think I've got one hell of a nursery mouth. And if that's not what she said, you cannot convince me otherwise. What else would she have said in that moment?
I've got one hell of a nursery mouth.
What is she even saying? Why is that her response?
You're not really a financial coordinator, are you?
No, she's not. You came to that conclusion already. Then her vibrator goes off.
Oh! My vibrator just went off.
Excuse me?
She means her pager, but I love that she called it a vibrator. And he's like, what? Your what went off? And she's like, oh, sorry, my pager, you know. Why'd you call it a vibrator? She tells him to get on the contraption and go one floor down. And you'll be okay on your own, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. We're introduced to this black and green room that we've never seen before. And the lawyer, I think, is he a lawyer? I keep calling him the lawyer. I'm going to keep calling him the lawyer. The lawyer peeks his head through real slowly. He walks into this weird dark room with a bunch of storage boxes and weird sounds coming from the other end of it, fully knowing this is not a morgue, but he continues to go. He starts to see wicker hanging from the rafters, menacingly. This movie is too long. He approaches BASKETWEAVE, looking for Dr. Stravinsky. He hits him with these facts about his working conditions.
Are you aware that you have open containers of fairly volatile chemicals right over there?
Which I'm pretty sure BASKETWEAVE already knew about. And so he tells him, duh, I already knew that. The lawyer for some reason presses him on the fact that it's dangerous, which I don't know about you, but that first response would have had me being like, oh, okay, that's fine. You're not the doctor. I'm not looking for you. I'm gonna go now. But he stays. And then the lawyer starts to play with the wicker hanging from the rafters.
Please don't do that.
You do not touch BASKETWEAVE's wicker. He keeps asking him so many questions about these wicker baskets and why they're hanging from the ceiling and what he's doing, and it's just not why he's there. I don't know why he's so obsessed with finding out anything about these wicker baskets. This man is obviously not Dr. Stravinsky, and he's just pressing him.
It's a storage situation.
Maybe when my girlfriend asks why all my sewing supplies are a mess. Fuck. Then the lawyer finally decides he's gonna get the hell out of there, but obviously he's overstayed his welcome, and BASKETWEAVE kills him with wicker. He kills him with the wicker he was just sharpening. So the doctor's looking for this lawyer. Angela's like, I don't know where they are, even though, doesn't she? Doesn't she know exactly where they are? Wasn't she there when Nurse Jackie spoke to the lawyer and said he's on the basement? She definitely knows what... Anyway, she's like, okay, I'll page her for you. Which, I thought Jackie was faking the paging when she was downstairs. You know, her vibrator. But I guess it's real, and this is just the other side of things. That Angela was the one who paged her. Now, I am going to share with you the worst part of this movie. And I know what you're thinking. The worst part? This whole part sucked. This whole part was the worst part. Every part of this movie is the worst part. And you're right, except you're wrong. This is the worst thing I have ever seen. Oh my god, it's so bad. I hate watching this.
Give me 5 minutes, okay? I have a couple more patients to see.
5 minutes, okay.
5 minutes, okay. Why doesn't the doctor care that he found her with her stocking off? What is happening? Why did you write this, Chris Forbes? What does this mean? Do you have a foot fetish? Don't make me watch it! Apparently the police are looking for the lawyer now, and he needs Nurse Jackie on the ball. But 5 minutes, okay. My camera died again, and I forgot I had this doctor's jacket, so now I'm in theme, and my camera is plugged in, because it's not charged. I have been watching this movie for so long. Oh my god, this is gonna be such a hassle to edit. Anyway, I just realized that Jackie tells her that she wants her to lick it until every drop is left. So we find two detectives in a cafe, and one of the detectives tells the other, hey, there's a lawyer guy missing. He's like, so I cross-referenced some stuff, and I realized that you worked on a case like 12 years ago, and one of the people involved in that case is at this hospital. Does that ring any bells? And he's like, yeah, that was a rough case, or whatever he said.
It was a really rough case.
Then he says he'll probably go take a trip out there. I don't know why, maybe just to check up on Allie. Or because he's going to take on the case of where the lawyer went. That just hit me, the lawyer is still missing. So apparently Nurse Jackie is actually on one of her rounds again. No one's really mentioned the death of Barry, and I just remembered he died, so maybe that's just how this is gonna go. We all will forget Barry, but honestly, rest in peace. That guy lost his bottom half. Anyway, she's going to be administering some more Margaret. Angela tells her it's time to give Tom and Allie their dosages, which Nurse Jackie says she will be attending to Allie first, but like in a really menacing way.
Allie first.
So she approaches Allie with the syringe, and Allie's like, oh, no. No. Jackie's like, what? I thought I told you to shut up. No, really, she's mad that she's still trying to speak. I don't know. I'm watching this movie sped up, and even the slow motion silhouette of Nurse Jackie with the needle in hand is going by slow as hell. Christopher Forbes, this movie could have been 30 minutes long. the same amount of nobody would still have watched it. I promise you, I probably still would have found it in my WALGREENS discount bin. I keep forgetting what happens in this movie. So much happens in this movie. It's hard to remember. So Jackie gets close to her with a needle, and Allie shoots up and smacks her in the face. Or punches her under the chin. Or something, but Jackie is now on the ground. Jackie's like, "Get back here, you f***ing fuck." Can I even say that? But she doesn't. Instead, Allie runs down the hallway and then starts to get really dizzy? I'm not sure. But when we go back to see Jackie, she's got a syringe in her leg. Not good. Not good at all. We have a really shaky chase scene in this ominous hallway. And both Allie and Jackie, when escaping this hallway, clothesline themselves on the front desk. Like, right after Allie does it, Jackie just woof right into it again. I don't know. Why did they make them do that? That hurts. Anyway, the nurses are like, whoa! So Bad Wig decides to call up security because Allie is gone and now Nurse Jackie is on the ground again. They're running through the hospital now, chasing Allie down, and there's now a lot of people in the hospital, like people we've never seen before, and they're all curiously looking out to see what happens. I don't know who these people are. I have no idea. We've never seen half of these patients or doctors, but they are all after her. I love this chase scene music, by the way. It's really intense. A patient tries to stop them, and he's like, "Leave him alone! Leave her alone!" And they just toss his ass to the side. He's like, "Get away, boy," or something like that. Allie escapes into a room that has the laundry chute in it and then goes in the laundry chute. So the guys that were chasing her let somebody know on the phone that she has gone down the laundry chute. I've said laundry chute a lot. And then she what? She absolutely plummets down the laundry chute, so much so that it shakes the camera, and she screams. There's no way she survived that. Like, without broken bones or anything. Oh, she's fine. Apparently the doctor just got an alert that something is happening, so he runs out to the nurse station and is like, "What's happening?" And Bad Wig is like, "Someone escaped. And also, Jackie's on the ground." And Jackie's like, "I got some of that stuff in me, doc." And then the doctor just goes up to her and treats her the same way that he treated the other patients who took it. So she tells him she has some of that stuff in her, and he's like, "Margaret?" And then we're taken into her trip that occurs after the medicine. She sees eyeballs, and Jerry Barry's dead body, and some other stuff happens. I don't know what it means. And there's a shot of her, like, in a hospital bed, waking up, but then it goes back to her eyes freaking out. There's a lot of screaming, and she's kind of convulsing on the ground, and the doctor's just like, "You'll be all right. Hey, Jackie, you're gonna be okay." And I'm like, I don't think so. He asks her what she sees. She says she sees landscapes of blood. Beautiful, horrible creatures. Ring any bells? Because that's what BASKETWEAVE told him. While Jackie's having her freak out between beautiful and horrible, we get quick flashes on the screen of BASKETWEAVE's face and Allie's child face. And I don't know if it's referring to how Allie's beautiful and how BASKETWEAVE is horrible. Yeah, I don't know the connection. It's happening. It's happening. Nurse Badwig, I know I've been coming at your wig this whole time, but I just noticed how choppy your bangs are. Why do you look like that? Why are you the only person wearing a wig in this movie? Why is it that wig? Okay, almost done. So Allie is in the basement now, in that black green room we saw earlier that the lawyer went into. And she just waltzes through that door. I don't know why these people are doing this. I just realized this is like a weird ledge that she had to climb onto. Did the lawyer have to do that too? No, because he was coming through the green door. Where is the lawyer coming from? Where is this room? Because the lawyer had to go down the elevator shaft thing, and she just went down the laundry chute, so I guess they're on opposite sides, but where does that put this room in the basement? Like, what is this? What is this dark storage room with a green overhead light. Why am I asking these questions now? Why do any of these matter? I'm at 55 minutes. Let's just finish the movie. She spots BASKETWEAVE through the yard. What is that? She spots BASKETWEAVE through the fence that's down there for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's like a gate to keep his basket weaving projects to himself. But he spots her, and her body immediately like does a thing. I can't describe it. This is what it does. And then he thinks he hears something, but he looks away, and she backs up. Like, she really backs it the fuck out of there. Then she walks further into the other room. I don't know where she is. And she sees the lawyer strung up against the wall with a basket over his head. We see that he's been torn up by wicker. His guts are spilling out, and there's wicker sticking out of him. I forgot this scene existed, so I guess we have 2 gory scenes in here. It's probably the same guts as before, but the camera work when they're in the basement is always so shaky, and I guess it's supposed to give you this feeling of unease, but it's just kind of making me dizzy. So a cop comes to the nurse's station looking for Ali Van Duren, and Jackie screams out, he's just kind of like, oh, okay, and then asks how to get to the basement where Ali is. Jackie tells him to stay away from her. I think she means herself, but she could also be talking about Ali. He asks what's wrong with her, finally, and Karen just tells him that she's not feeling very well. Let's go to the basement. Ali comes across what looks to be a hospital bed, and we hear a heart monitor beeping. What is this? We see a bunch of surgical tools and like poison bottles near her bed, and I just realized that's not a heart monitor. That's more of just a random sound effect. I guess they couldn't get a heart monitor sound effect for the movie. She's approaching this woman as if she wasn't just being chased down by hospital security. Ali picks up a clipboard near the bed and sees that the person inside the bed has a stroke-induced coma. We get a close-up of the person in the bed, and there is a fly, and I just want you guys to look at it because I don't know if that was purposeful or if they said, fuck it, we're not taking another shot. It kind of makes it look like she's dead. I'm gonna name the fly Steve. So Ali sees that the person is actually Margaret Stravinsky, the Margaret. And the camera quickly swoops over to where Dr. Stravinsky and Nurse Angela, Miss Badwig, are standing. He's like, I hope this doesn't change the way you view me. Nurse Angela's like, yeah, we don't want to hurt you. And that's not true. Like, none of that's true. Dr. Stravinsky says that his wife went brain dead 32 years ago. I should also mention that she looked at Ali when she put the clipboard down. But anyway, she's been brain dead for 31 years. He says that Margaret told him, or wanted in general, her body to help others or be donated to science after she passes. And so he's been using her in order to craft the Margaret stuff. And Nurse Angela's like, yeah, he's really smart and big brain, and you should be so happy that he's been doing this for you and making you better with it, which, again, none of that is true. And in response to this, Ali fucking books it. Dr. Stravinsky's like, it's best if you don't run. Obviously, I'm gonna put a clip in it because I did not do that justice.
It's best if you don't run.
But she runs, and then BASKETWEAVE is running. He stands menacingly atop that weird ledge thing that I still can't figure out. There's like a run, walk, chase scene happening between BASKETWEAVE and Ali. I don't know where in the hospital they are. I'm gonna stop trying to figure out the blueprint of this place because I'm almost done. He chases her and asks, don't you know it's basket time?
Don't you know it's basket time?
Which is the best catchphrase you could have as a basket weaving murderer. So brave, so true, I know. Ali runs out of breath and comically puts her arm against the wall because that's what people really do when they're out of breath. And before we can see who's behind her, which we all know is BASKETWEAVE, we're brought back to the detective and Nurse Karen because can't get enough dialogue in this movie. She leads him to the elevator shaft thing and is like, I can't go any further. I was told I couldn't do it. And he's like, why? And she's like, I just can't. And he was like, okay. And then I guess he goes down the elevator shaft without any other questions. No questions. No need. Turns out she was looking at nothing, because now Allie is going down the stairs. I haven't said it yet, but Victoria Adams, the person who plays Allie, is doing a pretty decent job, and I don't think I gave her any props yet, but she's doing the best she can for this movie, and I'm pretty sure this was like one of her only roles ever, so let's shout out this lady. What's her name? Anyway, she's super smart, and she decides to take a hanger and lock herself into a metal closet, which I would not have thought to do. So, and then BASKETWEAVE throws a bunch of baskets down the stairs. Then a child starts singing "Oh BASKETWEAVE" in the tune of "Oh Christmas Tree." We're faced with two strangers who tell Allie that's silly, that's supposed to be a Christmas song, and then tell her that her parents need her home, and I don't know who these people are. We don't learn who they are either, so I'm going to assume like maybe an aunt and an uncle or something like that. I don't know. BASKETWEAVE bounds down the steps and heads towards the metal closet, because that's obviously where she went. There's no other place to hide. And then Miss Badwig, Nurse Angela, starts coming down the stairs. BASKETWEAVE really fucking struggles with this closet. Like, struggles. While Nurse Angela Badwig is hanging out by the bottom of the stairs, the detective comes around with his gun already drawn, so you know he means business. And he's like, what's going on down here? And she just says it's a research project, so BASKETWEAVE then loses his mind and starts beating up on the metal closet doors, screaming, "It has to be basket time! It has to be basket time!"
It has to be basket time! It has to be basket time! It has to be!
The detective, I guess, is like, this is a pretty good point to step in, and he goes to draw his gun again. Well, no, I guess it's been drawn, but it doesn't matter, because Nurse Angela Badwig stabs him with some Margaret. So she holds the cop at gunpoint with his own gun, and he's like, hey, I'm not the only person who knows about this. You guys are gonna be caught, like, soon. So Nurse Badwig Angela turns to BASKETWEAVE and is like, hey, doctor, we gotta go.
Doctor! We need to leave, Doctor! It's not time for this one!
Doctor? What? That's right, people. This whole time, Dr. Stravinsky and BASKETWEAVE were the same person. This whole time.
But I'm so close.
And I'm not gonna tell you how, because I don't know. There was some Margaret in that needle. Turns out Allie could speak the whole time. She was just playing the silent treatment on the whole hospital. She tells him she's not hurt, but then she like falls out of the closet. Then she asks the detective if he saw him, and he's like, the doctor? And she's like, no, the basket man.
No, the basket weaving man.
No, they're the same person, Allie. She's like, are you sure you haven't seen him? And he's like, yeah, no, that was the doctor. She's like, but he's got a big black robe. And he's like, no. And then she just kind of looks at the ground, and he's like, what's up? And she's like, I want to go home. So I guess she doesn't really want to figure out whether BASKETWEAVE's a real person, and is willing to drop it just so she can go home, which, hey, you got $3 million waiting for you, I would too. 1 week later. I hate this font. For some reason, the house wasn't one of the things liquidated fund-wise, so she still has it, which is where she's going home to, and the utilities were all turned on for her. Cop's like, yo, you don't have to go back to this murder house. You could just buy a new house with all your money. She's like, no, I like my house. He says he's got a track on them from England to Budapest, and Allie doesn't know where that is, so she asks him where it is, and he tells her where it is.
We got a track on this doctor and that crazy nurse of his from England to Budapest.
Where's that?
Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe. We pull up to the house and all the lights are on. And I just don't like that. That was stupid. That's a stupid thing. She should be the one to turn on the lights. Why are the lights already on? When the detective comes into the house, he acts like he can smell something foul, but then just kind of shakes it off and asks her where she wants her things. And then makes a comment on how, like, I can't believe you want to stay here for a night. Which, I think she wants to stay there for the rest of her time. Like, she seems to want to live in that house. But anyway, she's quick to push him off and be like, nah, you're good, go off, be free. She doesn't even thank him. She just kind of starts to go into what I can describe as shock, remembering all the traumatizing events of the night her parents were murdered. I guess Allie is tripping again, and one of the flashes she gets in her mind are of Nurse Jackie, and I also see Nurse Jackie when I close my eyes, so... Anyway, she falls to the floor and starts rocking. And then the camera spins around for like 15 seconds, which got me dizzy, and there was no reason for it. They just did that. There wasn't even a transition. They just did that. She gets up and sits on a chair, and I believe tries to fall asleep, or, you know, just sleep off whatever bad trip she was just on. And then we get, like, an actual jump scare. Lightning cracks and BASKETWEAVE is underneath it, but then he's gone. It actually got me. I think it gets me like every time because I don't expect it. Like, why is there a jump scare? We have like 8 minutes left of this movie. I have no idea why they fit a jump scare in there, but you gotta give Chris Forbes some credit. He really wants you guys to be scared of this movie. So she opens her front door and looks outside, and then she turns back to the camera and looks scared. And then she closes the door, and then we walk through the house. We get some more of that sick hymn from the beginning, though. BASKETWEAVE. BASKETWEAVE. So after slowly going up the steps and through the hallway of the top floor, we center back in on that wicker basket from the first couple of scenes. And lo and behold, BASKETWEAVE walks into the room. But he's not BASKETWEAVE anymore. Surprise! Another plot twist. They're actually the parents of Allie. They weren't a murderer and a psycho nurse. Surprise! It was all a dream. It was all a dream caused by the Margaret drug, which is still a thing. That is still a thing in this universe. Once again, Allie asks the question, is her project ready? And the answer is actually yes. We get to see Allie's project. What is the project? It's a basket. You didn't see that coming. You can't say you did. What? That was a surprise. That took us all by surprise. Why did all of this manifest into a nightmare? You like basket weaving. You like your parents. What is Margaret? Jackie answers a phone call from who we recognize as Dr. Glass, and he tells her that he needs her to come in for a shift because Nurse Karen can't make it. She's still a nurse? What? Does her daughter think she's a really bad nurse? Why did she dream her mom like that? Then he asks her to wear that red lipstick, and she sighs and says she will, which kind of lets us in on the idea that she doesn't actually enjoy giving him this satisfaction of the red lipstick, but it's probably the only way she can get some attention or get, I don't know, toilet paper funds or whatever. Again, don't know why her daughter dreamed up that they had some weird thing or how she knows about the lipstick. A lot of things will never get answered. There's no answer. We are 3 minutes from the end. We will not get a single one. Another thing they added in is Jackie curses a lot, right? So when she comes into the room and says that work wants her to come in for some bullshit, I don't know what his actual name is. I'm gonna keep calling him BASKETWEAVE, but BASKETWEAVE says, like, hey, I thought we agreed, no cursing around Allie. And this is probably supposed to be like a moment because she cursed a lot in Allie's nightmare. But again, why would she be dreaming her mom like this if they don't actually do that? Why would her brain conjure up this nasty personification of her mother as an evil nurse that would torture her and give sexual favors and curses, which is just something I added on. It's not as bad as the other things.
I don't know. That stuff really it knocks her out.
I know.
Her and her little projects, huh?
Mom and Dad, Jackie and BASKETWEAVE, go over whether or not they should actually be giving Allie these meds. And he's not down, but she trusts Dr. Stravinsky, and so he just says, okay, which is weird, because if you don't want your daughter taking medication because it knocks her out, I think you could say no. I think you should have said no. Anyway, he holds her shoulders while Jackie feeds the medicine to her. Then we fade to credits. Guys. Jacob, the father from the beginning, Mr. Newspaper, that's Christopher Forbes. I've watched this movie how many times, and that's amazing. Wow, Chris, you played the smallest role, and yet it was such an important one. Anyway, that's enough of that. This video took me 4 hours to record, and it's going to take even longer to edit, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a like. Please tell me, what was your favorite Jackie line, or BASKETWEAVE line? Yeah, I'm really tired. I never have to watch that movie again. Well, that's a lie, I have to watch it while I edit it, but after that I'm done, and thank God for that. I hate this movie. There's nothing good about it. The sound quality is bad, the cinematography is bad, if you can call it that. The music was loud and tense, but not like... I'm not a film critic, but I'm gonna give that 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. Because what the fuck? I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I hope... This is getting so hot. Anyway, if you want to see me break down more terrible movies, possibly shorter ones, or ones with less bullshit in them, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, bye.
It's a done deal.
So tired and hot. It's so hot in here, and I'm so tired.